Right, just back from my test run there. It's just up Lisburn, jumping the steps and stuff, just getting a baseline setting to see what this is like jumping. Having the smaller wheel at the back and then the bigger one up front, because pretty much when I got this bike brand new, all I've been running is the full 29 setup front and back, whereas I've changed it to the smaller wheel, which is 27.5, and then I've put a big 29 up front. I've also put the flip chip in the high position for the 27.5. You've got 3 settings here to choose on the Giant Rim 12023 model. So you've got, you see here, you've got low, mid, and then you've got high. We have it in the high mode at the minute. I will say one thing: when you change your flip chip and then putting the smaller wheel at the back, way easier to climb up the hills, far faster when you're putting the power down on the cranks. And I mean, it just explodes out of the corners. I just tested around my corners there, down the line, and just pumping on the power, and it just accelerates far quicker. I like the setup, more lighter, more nimble, easier to jump, easier to bunny hop. I'll take these lights off here. The only thing I need to do with it is change the odd wee suspension setting, and then because that's a brand new disc rotor on that too, I'm still bedding that in, so there's still a wee bit of rubbing on it, so I need to reline that there once it's bedded in more. Other than that there, I mean, the thing's unreal, so it is. Put these wee lights back up here. Haven't even tested this new light I've got. This here one goes to a max of like, I think it's near 2,000 lumens or something. 1,200, sorry. So the lumens on this light is 1,200 max, whereas on this new one here, you've got 6,000 lumens, which is quite a lot. That's, haven't even used it yet. I need to get it set up and on and put it on the bike. As I said, we shout out to Rob, you know, who got me them Hope limited edition like bar end plugs, you know, because it's really hard to get the green. That's like Hope's factory colour, so it is, but it matches brilliant with the bike, so it does, you know, having the green there. And then don't even see in camera, but this here like goes to green, and when the sunlight hits it goes to purple and all. Same with these here handlebars. When you go close to the light it goes to green, and then purple and all comes through. You know, if I take a light off you'll probably see the purple more, as you can see there. And it goes to like blue and all different colours, like chameleon colour. The Hope brakes, best brakes I've ever run on my bike, to be honest. I've always run Shimano or SRAM, but once it changed on to the TAC 4 levers and the Fee 4 calibers, running the vented rotors too, best brakes I've ever run on the bike. I will say one thing: they are noisier than any other brake out there, but I don't mind the noise. As long as it stops you. I mean, you hardly need to touch that and it's just locked straight on. But yeah, everything on this bike's pretty much near enough a Hope build. You know, the Hope brakes, stem, clamp, your spacers and stuff, dropper lever, your calibers, your discs. We've got the Pro 5 hubs front and back, and we're running Hope Fortis 30 downhill rims front and back. On all my bikes are all Hope Fortis 30. And then we're running every single one of the bikes, we're running Maxxis tire setup. That's my favourite tire. I mean, this wee bike is just unreal, so it is. Can't wait to take it back up to the Ross Traver now. Once, because I've got this mullet set up now, I want to take it up to Rossi again to get that tuned perfect. But yeah, shit's running well. Like, the last upgrade I'm going to get for it, I'm going to get Hope cranks for it, Hope bottom bracket, get the Hope blue and all the same blue as the pedals and the hubs and stuff like that. And the sound of these hubs, they just sound amazing. And there's no drag on them at all. I'll give you a wee sound test. And then brakes, once you touch them, they're just locked on, you know. So, can't wait to go out again tomorrow. Just to get another test on her. As I said, I might need to just change the wee suspension setting, no telling the compression and stuff, and the rebound. Another thing too, you can change all your settings when you've got a smaller wheel in the back and a bigger one up front. You've got 3 settings to play about with, and then when you do a full 29 setup, you can also change all your settings too. At the flip chip, to change your head tube angle and all that there, and your seat tube angle and bottom bracket height, you can lower it or higher it up, whatever you want. It's unreal. Gent really went to town with this bike. Another thing too what I like about it, you know, you've got I've got all my tools hidden inside this pump, but what I like about it too, you've got internal frame storage and all for your biscuits, or you want to store tools inside that, you can, or your suspension setup, you know, write it down in a notepad and keep them with you all the time. And then all your wee tools. What I like about this, you've got your 1-up EDC 100cc volume pump, 2 pumps in one, you see. So this here is 2 pumps in one. You know, you've got your hand pump, and then you've also got inside here, take it out. So inside here, you can take this out. It's going to be a wee bit tight because it is brand new. If you buy a CO2 canister, you can screw it in that, and then that's another pump. You've got a CO2 inflator plus your hand pump. And then what I like about this here too is you can hide all your tools inside the pump. And I actually got another one for my other bike too that came today. Pull this out here, you know, snap it open. You've got your multi-tool and stuff, you know, tire lever, chain breaker, spoke keys and stuff, valve cord remover, spare chain links, and then you open this wee capsule. You've got a tire plug in case you get a puncture, stab your tire, because I run tubeless tires. I don't run tubes, so you stab your tire. If you get a big enough hole that the sealant doesn't cover it, stab your tire. This here will stop it. And then you see spare ones here, and then we're going to pick the rest of them out here. Get the rest of this out here. There we nearly are. There we go. And then inside here, got all your zip ties, in case you need a zip tie anything like that. Spare tire plugs here. Spare inner core valves for your rims and tires. And then you've got this here to take your chain on and off if you get a mechanical failure. And then, as I said, zip ties here. As I said, you've got a wee plug stabber there. You can take that off and put a CO2 canister underneath too, whatever way you want to do it. But it's really handy when you're out on the trail. You can adjust things, you know, adjust all your levers, or if you're not comfortable where your brakes are, you can loosen them and tighten them up and all stuff like that. So we're just going to put it all back together. Doesn't take that long. Get all the zip ties on first, that's the hardest usually. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put in these here. And then one down there. And then we're going to put one here. There, and then just push that down, line that up. Just screw it until it really snug fit. And then put your wee Allen keys here. And then line it up with these 2 wee grooves. And then snap it all into place. And this one here, just snap it. And that's her, all your tools ready to go when you're out on the trail. And then also I've got my wee 1-up, or not 1-up, my Fidlock water bottle. The mount's on perfect. And there's enough room that the suspension doesn't hit the bottle. Also, we shout out, do you ever see these boys on YouTube? Real Boys MTV, absolutely brilliant channel. You just have to get watching it, I'm telling you, it's good crack, like. All decent amount of lads, anyone I've met, they're all dead on. I went out with them last week there, and absolutely brilliant crack, you know, and thanks to Jordan for running me up and all, do you know what I mean? And his dad Hugh, absolutely fantastic. Met Jerry too, have to meet the rest of the crew, like, but everyone there, absolutely sound as a pound. Pretty much everyone is in the mountain bike community. That's what you want. You know, that's what you always want, friendly faces. You know, you want no negativity, no nothing. I'm telling you, give that their wee channel a wee subscribe, MTV Real Boys, and I'll show you it one more time here. If you're into mountain biking, you'll know who I'm on about anyway, but if you can give their wee channel a wee subscriber, that's it there. Real Boys MTV, I'm telling you, it's such a laugh, like, you know. So, hope everyone's keeping well. I'm gonna shoot off here and turn this bike around and get everything sorted for tomorrow.